So welcome to Italy. Today I have the base model V7 Stone, the third generation. So let's find out how it is. So I was thinking that I will change the direction of my reviews a little bit, just an experiment, and I would like to spend more time riding and showing how the engine works, brakes, handling, rather than showing the static pictures of the bike. So very quickly, this is a Moto Guzzi V7, the third iteration, so V7 3, the base model Stone. This third generation, it's very important to say that the engine is almost all new. It's the same displacement and 10% more of power. But it has a new aluminium piston, head, cylinder. There are changes on the drive shaft and the crankshaft, on gearbox, clutch, and oiling, you know, and loads of stuff. Almost like the people Moto Guzzi says it's a new engine. Also, it's visually bigger, which is nice because this is 750 and it should be, you know, big bike. Also, what we see here, the frame is more solid, more strong, which should give you more stability in the corners. But this is nice. There are no new rear shocks, which is also nice. They're still like Kayaba. It's not airlines or anything like that, but it should also provide more stability in the corners. And the changes are not just in the engine and suspension, but there are some visual changes. I think new blinkers, new instrument. I think new mirrors, I believe. Just a few changes depending on the version, because nowadays we have 6 versions of the Moto Guzzi V7 on the market. When you look at the bike, you will see alloy rims. On some versions you have spoked wheels, which I would prefer, but this looks quite nice. For this year or for this generation, the Stone is all in matte black. This color, matte blue, it's actually really nice. I like it. And we see very nice Brembo brakes, 320mm single disc 4-piston caliper, ABS, traction control. Yeah, the suspension is quite basic, you know. You have 40mm telescopic fork with the guards, which is nice, and but nothing really fancy, not like LED lights or anything like that. But you still get ABS, traction control. What is very important is the comfort. So this version, like the V7 3 range, is 2 centimeters lower in the seat height. So it has 770mm, and they really wanted to make it more affordable, or, you know, more easy to use for the smaller people, or people which are not like me, 193 centimeters. And so when I saw this on the paper, I was thinking that this is definitely not a bike for me. But the riding position is actually very nice. The position of the legs, I think they are working very hard to make the position of the legs, you know, the best as possible. And now this is really good. This is really comfortable. The seat is comfortable, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect from 770mm seat height bike that it would be comfortable for me, but this is somehow is. But let's go for a ride. So hello from Dolomites, the Italian mountains, and I'm so excited that I'm not shooting in the Czech Republic right now, and I'm somewhere else exploring beautiful parts of Europe. I went to Italy to test Italian motorcycles, and I start with Moto Guzzi. I am the Moto Guzzi event for the customers, and I'm just a regular paying customer here, and I decided to test a couple of motorcycles and enjoy the atmosphere. I think it's called Ride Experience, Moto Guzzi Ride Experience. I'm not sure right now, unfortunately, but I will be doing some video and maybe some text about some article about the event, and I'll put you some information in the below the video. But V7, so I was kind of, you know, this is not the bike for me, because it's a small one and it's perfect for people who are starting their motorcycle career, or the people who are getting back from, you know, after like 30 or 40 years break, or anyone maybe, you know, changing the scooter for motorcycles, like something like that. And the seat height, 770mm on this V7 3 third generation, is on the paper it's very small for 193 centimeters. So I thought, no way at all. Normally on naked bikes or retro naked bikes, it wouldn't work. I mean, I could ride it, but it wouldn't work. Here, surprisingly, it works nice. The comfort is really high. I did 100 kilometers yesterday and 150 today. it's very nice. I sit really straight. The position of the legs is really relaxed. So, and I think they are, you know, this is the V7 Free, the third generation from 2008 when it came to the market, and they are really working on the ergonomy and or the user experience in terms of easy to use. And easy to use is a very good topic for this bike. I think it's perfect for beginners. First of all, the handling. It's very easy to handle and change the direction. I was very surprised. The bike is lightweight, 192 kilos, 192 kilos dry, which is not bad for the category of, you know, if you compare it with the Triumph Street Scrambler or the previous Scrambler or some other bikes like that. This is very lightweight, which is nice. But it's not just about the weight. This model, this V7 Free, has the stronger or more solid frame, better stability in the corners, and new rear shocks. And it's not a sport bike, it's not anything fast, but it just works really good in the corners. We did 2 days of riding this bike, and I found it very comfortable, as I told you, and especially when you go from 60 to 90 or 60 to 100, it's just amazing. Like my friend here with my cameraman, basically Wojciech, he just told me, you know, this bike and this nature around, I would just put there some side bag and some Italian salsiccia or some salami and just go really relaxed, enjoy the mountains, enjoy the nature, stop somewhere, you know, make a picnic. And I think this makes completely sense. And you have at the same time the motorcycle with beautiful design, and I can tell you the secret that I like the design more than on modern Triumph Street Cups or these you know, cheap, let's say the cheaper versions of Triumph nowadays, the twins. I like the more Moto Guzzi. Mainly, I don't know, it looks more solid, more steel on it, more aluminium on some version, more chrome, and I like the engine, the design of the engine, which is wonderful. Now, there are a few things which the beginners wouldn't like maybe. I think sometimes you have problems to find neutral, you know, on it's Italian bike. The clutch and gearbox, otherwise, it's very exact, and clutch is very easy to, it's also new on this model, and it's very easy to work with, the clutch. It's a single plate, I believe, dry clutch, and it's really easy to operate it. The gearbox also, it's really nice and easy to work with, but just in the city you sometimes have you struggle, you know, to find a neutral. That's just a small problem. Like the engine, otherwise it's really easy to work with. Again, I have third gear, fourth gear, 30 kilometers per hour, or I can have, let's say, 50 on or 55 on 6th gear, no problems at all. It's just very easy to work with the engine, and I wish I see more beginners, you know, starting on this lovely classic bike, because I just want to see these on the street, you know. And you also get a nice sound, which is not anything aggressive, of course. It's a stock bike, but you still feel and you still know that you're riding V-twin with you know, with kind of a history behind. So I kind of like it, and also there is a nice set of vibrations, which are not anything, you know, highly, you know, high frequential or anything like that. Only if you pull out the throttle, you feel again that you have a drive shaft and you have a V-twin and you have some displacement, some decent displacement. And this is nice to have, and it's a nice opposite to very modern units of Yamaha or Honda and C750X. Yeah, that will be a nice comparison with the very modern Honda. Now the brakes, there is a 320mm 4-piston, like single disc 4-piston Brembo in the front, and I would expect a little bit more from the brake. Like it's not bad. Now I was going up the hill, so that's, you know, it seems very good. But in a normal, you know, when you go down the hill or if you go straight, it just you know, it doesn't feel like a Brembo 320mm 4-piston. It's kind of a average brake, I would say. It's still better than on Triumph Street Scrambler, but but I would find it average. Again, for beginners or for anyone who is riding very relaxed, and even like one person on the bike, it's always enough, right? There is a modern dual channel ABS and also traction control you can set up in 2 levels, which is good and nice to have. And again, only for beginners. I was kind of thinking about the traction controls in this small, you know, less powerful motorcycles. I was thinking about it when I was doing a review of Triumph Street Scrambler. And but yeah, I mean, here in Italy, sometimes I felt when you have wet asphalt or something, again, it could be a good thing for the beginners. I think that they try to make this model very affordable, which you can see on the price, and also they try to do it very versatile. So there is a USB, you know, connector, so you can plug in your nav or phone, which is nice. But mainly there is this huge, and optically it's small, but actually in the reality, huge 21-liter full tank. And with the current consumption I have, I'll let you know. Yeah, it's 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers, but I was riding today quite fast. Yesterday when we were relaxed, like you know, just about looking at the sceneries, beautiful sceneries of Italy, it was about 3.9 to 4.2. So it seems that 5 kilometers it can do. And if you wanted to enjoy a little bit of acceleration or something, you can. Let me tell you a little bit more about the engine. So this is the 3rd generation from the new V7s, and they add about 10% of performance. And this was my reason to be disappointed. I was thinking like, yeah, I don't know, like 35 or 38, 38 nowadays, and I was like, I don't know. And these 60 newton meters of torque. And what they also did, they changed the the level of maximum torque, which is now 60 newton meters, but in 4,900 RPM. And it's the absolute opposite of the Triumph, for example, where they started to do like the trend now is to put the massive amount of torque from the ground. So they had 80 newton meters at about 3,000 RPM or 3,200, and here is kind of the opposite, right? So you have the maximum is 4,900, and don't get me wrong, it still has about 90 or 85% all the time for 2,000 something, but you feel some gradation or some peak, and some from about 3.5 to 5,000 RPM, and so it means that the engine doesn't die so fast. Oh, amazing castle! And you can rev it to 6,200. Oh, BMW Husqvarna, I think, and enjoy some nice, acceleration. It's not anything brutal. It's just 50 horsepower motorcycle, right? It can go on 4th gear 140, I think, 160 on the 5th gear I did, maybe a little bit more, and then it's the 6th gear. It's just not for riding very fast, and the suspension gives you a nice clear signal about it. If you go 120 or 130 kilometers and the asphalt is going a little bit more unperfect, that yeah, you will feel that the stability is not excellent. It's just an old-fashioned bike still, but the engine is fun, and this surprised me. It's not Yamaha XSR 900 of course, but it's fun to ride it. But I think 80% of people will ride it easy, like I'm doing now, enjoying the nature, enjoying the picnics, enjoying the life. And I'm just very happy that we have this Moto Guzzi here. And by the way, I have here all the range of the Moto Guzzi V7 or Racer, and all of them. So I will try to test all of them and let you know whether there is a significant difference rather than design. So thank you very much for watching this review. I'm now here in Italy, and I'll be doing more Italian bikes, and hopefully I will also test the V9 and maybe some Flying Fortress or anything. So watch my YouTube channel, and bye.